Assalamualaikum and good day everyone. Namaste. We are from Group 7 are going to present on Chapter 10 which is South Asia region. Let's start now. My name is Nur Fatihah binti Zulkifli and I will explain a bit on the introduction of South Asia region. South Asia region population has 1.94 billion as at 2020. And the world largest population in South Asia region are 98.47% of Hindus, 90.5% of Sikh, 31% of Muslim worldwide, 35 million of Christian, and 25 millions of Buddhists. There are 11 official languages in South Asia region, which are Bengali, Pashto, Dari Persian, Dogra, Divhi, English, Hindi, Nepali, Sinhala, Tamil and Urdu. The area of South Asia region consists of 5,134,641 square kilometer, which is 11.71% of Asian continent or 3.5% of the world's land surface area. I will explain the map of the region. South Asia is the southern region of Asia, which is defined in both geographical and ethno-cultural terms. The regions consist of 8 countries in which Fatihah Azman will explain it later. Topographically, it is dominated by the Indian plate and defined largely by the Indian Ocean on the south and the Himalayas, Karakoram and Pamir Mountains on the north. The Amu Darya, which rises north of the Hindu Kush, forms part of the northwestern border. On land, which is clockwise, South Asia is bounded by Western Asia, Central Asia, East Asia, and Southeast Asia.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Fatihah binti Nur Azman. So I will present about the sub-region in South Asia and their economic activities. So first and foremost, sub-region of South Asia is actually consisting of the Indo-Gangetic Plain and Peninsula India. It includes the 8 countries which are Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and the Maldives are often considered part of South Asia as well. The term is often used synonymously with Indian subcontinent. The latter term is sometimes used more restrictively to refer to Bangladesh, India, and Pakistan. As we can see here in the slide, this is the map of South Asia. Next, we will explore more details on the sub-region. The first one is Afghanistan. Afghanistan, officially the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan, is a landlocked country at the crossroads of Central and South Asia. Its population as of 2020 is 31.4 million, composed mostly of ethnic Pashtuns, Tajiks, Hazaras, and Uzbeks. Kabul served as its capital and largest city. The various conquests and periods in the Indian and Persian cultural spheres made the area a center for Buddhism, Zoroastrianism, Hinduism, and Islam throughout history. Next one is Bangladesh. Bangladesh is officially the People's Republic of Bangladesh. It's a country in South Asia. It is the 8th most populous country in the world, with a population exceeding 163 million people. It is narrowly separated from Nepal and Bhutan by the Siliguri Corridor and from China by the Indian state of Sikkim in the north, respectively. Dhaka, the capital and largest city, is the nation's economic, political, and cultural hub. while Chittagong is the largest seaport, is the second largest city. Next one is Bhutan. Bhutan, officially known as the Kingdom of Bhutan, is a landlocked country in the eastern Himalayas. Nepal and Bangladesh are located in close proximity of Bhutan but do not share a land border. The country has a population of over 754,000. The largest city in the Bhutan is the capital Thimphu. We move to the next country, which is India. India probably have been the largest country in the South Asia region. India, officially the Republic of India, is a country in South Asia. It is the seventh largest country by area, the second most populous country, and the most populous democracy in the world. It is the eighth most populous country in the world with a population exceeding 163 million people. New Delhi is the national capital of India. It is situated in the north-central part of the country on the west bank of Yamuna River, adjacent to and just south of Delhi city, which is the old Delhi, and within the Delhi National Capital Territory. Next is Nepal. It is officially the Federal Democratic Republic of Nepal. It's a landlocked country in South Asia. Nepal has a diverse geography, including fertile plain, forested hills, and 8 of the world's 10 tallest mountains, including Mount Everest, the highest point on Earth. Nepal is a multi-ethnic, multilingual, multi-religious, and multicultural state, with Nepali as the official language. The current population of Nepal is 29,863,187 people. Kathmandu is the nation's capital and the largest city of Nepal. Next country is Pakistan. Pakistan is officially the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. It's a country in South Asia. It is the world's fifth most populous country with a population exceeding 225.1 million and has the world's second largest Muslim population. Currently, Islamabad is the capital city of Pakistan and is administered by the Pakistani federal government as part of the Islamabad Capital Territory. For your information, it is the 9th largest city in Pakistan, while the largest Islamabad Rawalpindi metropolitan area is the country's third largest with a population of about 4.1 million people. Next, for the Sri Lanka country. Sri Lanka, formerly known as Ceylon and officially the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, is an island country in South Asia. It lies in the Indian Ocean, southwest of the Bay of Bengal, and southeast of the Arabian Sea. Sri Jayawardenepura Kota is its legislative capital, and Colombo its largest city and financial center. The current population of Sri Lanka is 21,537 and 633 people. Next one is the Maldives, the popular one with their beautiful island. The Maldives is officially the Republic of Maldives is an archipelagic country in the Indian subcontinent of Asia. It is situated in the Indian Ocean. Maldives is one of the world's most geographically diverse sovereign states as well as the smallest Asian country by land area. The current population of Maldives is 545 and 345 people, based on projection of the latest United Nations data. Mel is the capital and the most populated city, traditionally called the King's Island, where the ancient royal dynasty ruled for its central location.
Assalamualaikum everyone, my name is Nurhami Maisara binti Muzaffar. Next, I will be presenting on climate in South Asia. The climate in South Asia. South Asia is largely divided into four broad climate zones. The northern Indian Edge and northern Pakistani uplands have a dry subtropical continental climate. The far south of India and southwest Sri Lanka have an equatorial climate, and most of the peninsula has a tropical climate with variations such as hot subtropical climate in northwest India, cool winter hot tropical climate in Bangladesh, tropical semi-arid climate in the center. The Himalayas and most of the Hindu Kush have an alpine climate. Maximum relative humidity of over 80% has been recorded in Kashi and Jaintia Hills and Sri Lanka, while the area adjustment to Pakistani and Western India records lower than 20 to 30%. Climate of South Asia is largely characterized by monsoons. South Asia depends critically on monsoons rainfall. Two monsoon systems exist in the regions. First, the summer monsoon. Wind blows from the southwest to most part of the regions, and then the winter monsoon. Wind blows from the northeast, dominant in Sri Lanka and Maldives. The warmest period of the year precedes the monsoon season between March to mid-June. In the summer, the low pressures are centered over the Indus-Gangetic Plain and high wind from the Indian Ocean blows towards the center. The monsoons are the second coldest season of the year because high humidity and cloud covering. But at the beginning of June, the jet stream vanished above the Tibetan Plateau. Low pressure over the Indus Valley deepens and the intertropical convergence zone move in. The change is violent. Moderately vigorous monsoon depressions form in the Bay of Bengal and make landfall from June to September. Hurricanes also happen every year and sometimes destroy many things. In the extreme north of India and Pakistan, the climate is affected by the mountains. There is a mild climate near the Indus River where the farmers grow crops like rice and tea. Climate change in South Asia is causing a range of challenges, including sea level rise, cyclonic activities, changes in ambient temperature and precipitation patterns.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Hazima binti Mjuni and I will continue for the environmental problem, history and culture in South Asia. The first environmental problems in South Asia is dynamic natural environment. The Himalayas were formed by colliding plates which continue to cause earthquakes in later Maharashtra in 1993 and Gujarat, January 2001. The large-scale impacts are in 1905, 1934, and 2005. Both resulted in the loss of life and the destruction of poorly constructed houses. Next, flooding and drought. In Lower Ganges and Brahmaputra valleys, 30 million people were affected by the big flood. Deforestation in the upper reaches of these rivers and their tributaries in India, Nepal, and Tibet has increased flooding levels, but there is little regional collaboration to mitigate this effect. Drought is another issue. Water scarcity causes huge socio-economic problems in India's urban and rural areas. Urban middle class can erect storage tanks, while slum people must queue with buckets. The village elite caste have access to nice wells, but the rest must seek water elsewhere. Furthermore, tsunami. The large earthquake off the coast of northern Sumatra in Indonesia triggered a tsunami that hit southern India and Sri Lanka at the end of 2004. Fishermen and individuals in the tourist sector who occupied coastal areas suffered significant damage and loss of life. Then, United Nations plans to set up an early warning system for future disasters. The other environmental problem is air pollution. The production of herbicides and pesticides during the Green Revolution polluted the air. Water leaked into a methyl isocyanate storage facility at the Union Carbide pesticides plant in India, causing a chemical reaction and cloud of poisonous fumes. It resulted in deaths and impacts on eyes, lungs, and immune systems. The last environmental problem in South Asia is water pollution. The middle and lower Ganges River basins have 40% India's population with lot of factories and cities. Extremely contaminated effluent from a concentration of leather tanning plants flows into the Ganges River near some of the most important Hindu ritual bathing locations. The water quality has deteriorated because of trash dumping and funeral pyres along its banks, and cattle washing contributes to the pollution in rivers. Now, let's move to the history of South Asia. Afghanistan became a battleground in the 19th century as Imperial Britain and Tsarist Russia fought for control of Central Asia. The three Anglo-Afghan Wars took place between 1839 and 1990, and Afghanistan finally won full independence from Britain in 1919. Bangladesh was previously a part of the Bengal region. Bengal was largely Hindu in the 10th century and was annexed by the Mughal Empire in 1576, and the East Bengalis converted to Islam. Bengal was governed by Britain from 1757 to 1947. Pakistan ruled Bengal that time. Bangladesh became an independent country in 1971. Bhutan was divided into feudal areas. King Agyorachuk unified the regions in 1907. Bhutan's affairs were occasionally under British administration, but it was never colonized. Several countries were later given the choice of remaining independent or joining the Indian Union. Bhutan has chosen to remain a sovereign nation at 1949. In India, Indus Valley Civilization was one of the earliest civilizations in the region. Aryans arrived in India at 1500 BC and discovered civilized land. Britain eventually took control and reigned of the region. India earned freedom in 1947. In Maldives, Buddhist mariners from India and Sri Lanka first arrived in the Maldives in the 5th century. The land was under British authority in 1887. After negotiating an agreement with Britain, the Maldives were granted independence in 1965. Nepal's first civilization emerged in the 6th century BC. In the 12th century, Nepal's early rulers bowed into Hinduism and allowed India to have more influence. King Prithvi Narayan Shah eventually unified the Kingdom of Nepal in 1768. Although the British took authority, a commercial pact was made in 1792 between the British and the Kingdom of Nepal. Nepal was not granted complete independence until 1923. Pakistan was once part of the Indus Valley civilization. Aryans, Persians, Greeks, Arabs, Turks, and other ruled the region for thousands of years. In 1526, the country had fallen under the control of the Mughal Empire, which controlled over most of the Indian subcontinent. British took control of the region in 1857 and reigned for many years. In 1947, British finally agreed to grant Pakistan independence. For Sri Lanka, after Indo-Aryan immigration, largest ethnic group which is Sinhalese, the name given to his group of people, and the rest are Tamils. The two factions battled it out for possessions of the island, which is Ceylon, until 1972. Portuguese obtained control of the region and Dutch India Company to sovereignty. It was taken seized by the British and became an English crown colony. The Ceylonese leaders established a self-governing Commonwealth of Nations Dominion. The island's name was changed to Sri Lanka in 1972. Hindus and caste. Hinduism has been called the people's religion in South Asia. India has 800 million Hindus, which is 80% of Indian population. Hinduism accepts millions of gods. However, local groups frequently identify one as the most powerful. Caste is a Hindu concept that may have pervaded all aspects of South Asian civilization prior to the arrival of the Aryans. Caste system is like ethnic or social class distinctions in other countries, and non-Aryans were the lowest caste who were seen to be disgusting, polluting, and unworthy. Buddhism and Jainism. The Buddha, Siddhartha Gautama, was born in Hindu. His teachings were a rejection of the Hindu gods. Mauryan Empire extended to encompass most of the Indian subcontinent. In most famous ruler, Asoka converted to Buddhism and spread the Dharma policy for social religious peace. After Asoka's death, the empire fell apart due to weak successor. Jainism followed a peaceful rule that was later adopted by Mahatma Gandhi in 1900's battle for India's freedom from the British. Because Jains were not allowed to farm, they became a closed community. Muslim, Mongols, and Sikhs. Invading Mongol clans, Muslims and Turks were unable to establish lasting or total dominance for the next 600 years. Mughal Empire did not disseminate Muslim doctrines to the remainder of the region until the 1500s. In 1600s, India saw advancements in domains such as art and architecture like Taj Mahal. Hindus in the Punjab formed Sikhism as response to the Mughal dynasty. The religious movement fought against being absorbed into mainstream Hinduism. Amritsar's Golden Temple is the holiest of all temples. Many Sikhs got wealthy because of their abundant crops in Punjab. They advocated for an independent country, which is Sikh Khalistan, by the meaning of pure land. Mountain isolation and island openness. Afghanistan, Nepal, and Bhutan are located along the region's mountainous northern border. Tribes in the Himalayas developed their own ways of life, but Tibet occasionally attacked Nepal and Bhutan. In 1980s, Kabul National Museum displayed the rich cultural heritage of these encounters, including Islamic art, Roman bronzes, Egyptian glass, Chinese lacquerware, Indian ivories, and Buddhist collections. This collection was destroyed by the Soviet military, looting and export through Pakistan, and vandalism under the Taliban rule in 1996. Okay, for the last subtopic for me in South Asia is culture. Let's take a look on traditions first. The Republic Day and Independence Day are commemorated in India throughout the country. Respect for the king is very important in Bhutan. Using the left hand to eat, pay for products, and so on is considered as impolite in the region. When entering a place of worship or a significant building, it is also customary to remove your shoes. South Asians likewise enjoy it when others do not say thank you. It gives the host the impression that they have gone above and beyond what the guests expected. Instead, they like it when guests express their gratitude in a discreet manner. The holidays in South Asia, like in India, they celebrate Diwali or Deepavali, their most important holiday, and a festival of lights. Pakistan celebrates Pakistan Day. Afghanistan commemorates its Liberation Day and Independence Day. Bhutan celebrates a national day as well as a number other lesser known holidays. Constitution Day is observed in Nepal. Many of the same holidays are observed in Bangladesh as they are in the United States. Sri Lanka has a national holiday, and there are no important holidays in Maldives. Christmas is also observed by a small number of individuals because it is the first day of the Islamic month of Shawwal at the time, many countries mark it. And Holi is a spring celebration celebrated throughout South Asia. And lastly, the Hindu holiday, which is Ganesha Chaturthi, is observed in the region. And the last but not least, ethnic characteristics. The Dravidians are a group of people who live primarily in India, Sri Lanka, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. They speak Dravidian languages. The Bengalis are another ethnic group. These people are a group of people from the Bengal area, which is divided politically between Bangladesh and India. The Bhutanese, who practice Tibetan Buddhism, are a distinct group in South Asia. Afghan Persian or Dari, Pashto, and Turkic languages are spoken in Afghanistan. Bangla and English are the two most widely spoken languages in Bangladesh. Bhutan has three official languages, which is Shachopka, Dzongkha, and Lotshamska. In India, it has Hindi, Tamil, Malayalam, and English. And Divhi and English are spoken in the Maldives. Nepalese dialects such as Nepali, Bhojpuri, and Gurung. The three main languages spoken in Pakistan are Punjabi, Balochi, and English. Sinhala, Tamil, and English are the three main languages spoken in Sri Lanka.
Now I will explain on the organizational in South Asia region. The first one is the South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, also known as SAARC. It is the world's biggest organization in terms of population because it has 22% of total population. The member states include all 8 countries in the South Asia region. Why it has this association, or while this association was formed? It is because South Asia is the important areas in terms of international peace, security, economic, and the resource. The natural resources and water resources are huge, and thus the probability of development is very much. So, basically, this organization wants to help the regions itself, the country itself, to have enough natural resource and water resource in their country. At the same time, this area is famous in the world for poorness, unemployment, terrorism, and political disturbance. This association or this organization maintains its permanent diplomatic relation at the United Nations as an observer and has developed links with multilateral entities including the European Union. Next is South Asia Sub-Regional Economic Cooperation, also known as SASEC. SASEC brings together Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Myanmar, Nepal, and Sri Lanka in a project-based partnership that aims to promote the regional prosperity, improve the economic opportunities, and build a better quality of life for the people of the sub-region. SASEC countries share a common vision of boosting intra-regional trade and cooperation in South Asia, while also developing connectivity and trade with Southeast Asia through Myanmar to the people of Republic of China and the global market. Last one is South Asian Free Trade Area, also known as SAFTA. The purpose of SAFTA is to encourage and elevate common contract among the countries in which medium and long contract. The contracts involving trade operated by states, supply and import assurance in respect of specific product and others. It involves agreement on tariff concession like national duties concession and non-tariff concession. The main objective is to promote competition in the area and to provide the equitable benefit to the countries involved. It aims to benefit the people of the countries by bringing transparency and integrity among the nation. The SAFTA was also formed in order to increase the level of trade and economic cooperation among the SAARC nation by reducing the tariff and barriers and also to provide special preference to the least developed countries among the SAARC nation. It is to establish a framework for further regional cooperation.
Next is current issues. The first current issues is India wants compensation for climate damage caused by rich nations. India will be a fighter for climate justice at the upcoming COP26 summit, seeking to make rich nations pay for measures to ease rising temperatures. India, along with the world's leading gas emitter, China, is among dozens of the countries still to submit fresh plans for cutting greenhouse gas emissions and eliminating as much as carbon as they produce. Controlling carbon should be the COP26 priority over setting target dates to become net zero. According to the ministry figures, each Indian produces about 1.9 tons of carbon per year. The country of 1.3 billion people and one of the world's fastest growing economies has long insisted that the countries who profited from past industrialization such as Europe and North America should pay the most of the climate crisis bill. Mr. Yadav noted that concern of poorer nations that richer ones have failed to live up to the promises made earlier climate summits to provide hundreds of billions of dollars in financial aid and technology. Moreover, without finance for poorer nations, it becomes extremely difficult to have green development at their own cost. Next current issues is Sri Lanka bans contaminated Chinese fertilizer. Sri Lanka has prohibited a Chinese ship carrying desperately needed organic fertilizer because the National Plant Quarantine Services had tested a sample from the unnamed Chinese vessel which confirmed the presence of organisms including certain types of harmful bacteria. Farmers have said the government ban on chemical fertilizer could ruin their crops this year. Moreover, the Agriculture Ministry ordered the Sri Lanka Ports Authority to prevent unloading of the fertilizer in any port and to turn away the Chinese vessel. Sri Lanka originally ordered the organic fertilizer from China as part of its effort to become the world's first 100% organic farming nation. The organic plant nutrition from China were meant to gradually replace the chemicals during the main rice cultivation season. Farmers protest that the abandoning of agrochemicals would critically hit yields. The government last week lifted the ban on chemical fertilizer imposed in May. It has since imported 30,000 tons of potassium chloride as fertilizer and some 3 million liters of nitrogen-based plant nutrients from India.
So, next we move to the economic activities in each sub-region of South Asia. The first one is Afghanistan. The economy of Afghanistan has steadily improved in the last decade due to the return of a large number of wealthy expats, the modernization of the nation's agriculture sector, and the establishment of more trade routes with neighboring and regional countries. The main source of income in the countries is agriculture. Afghanistan currently produces roughly 1.5 million tons of fresh fruits annually, which could be increased significantly. Wheat and cereal production also is Afghanistan's traditional agriculture mainstay. Other than that is fishing. Afghanistan is landlocked with no direct access to an ocean, but it has a number of lakes, ponds, rivers, streams, which make it a suitable climate for a fish farming. Next is forestry. According to a 2010 report, only about 2.1% of Afghanistan is forested. Some steps have been taken in recent years in planting trees in the urban areas across Afghanistan. Even the Taliban spiritual leader has recently called for planting more trees. Last but not least, the economic activity of Afghanistan is tourism. Tourism in Afghanistan was at its peak in 1977. Many tourists from around the world came to visit Afghanistan, including from as far away as Europe and North America. All of that ended with the start of the April 1978 Saw Revolution. However, it is again gradually increasing despite the insecurity. Each year, about 20,000 foreign tourists visit Afghanistan. Next country is Bangladesh. The economy of Bangladesh is characterized as a developing market economy. It is the 33rd largest in the world in nominal terms and 31 largest by purchasing power parity. The economic activities that have been practiced in Bangladesh are agriculture, manufacturing and industry, shipbuilding, finance and tourism. Agriculture is the largest employment sector in Bangladesh, making up 14.2% of Bangladesh GDP in 2017 and employing about 42.7% of the workforce. The performance of these sectors has an overwhelming impact on major macroeconomic objectives like employment generation, poverty alleviation, human resource development, food security, and other economic and social force. For the manufacturing industry, Bangladesh probably have shoe industry, textile industry, pharmaceutical industry, shipbuilding industry, information technology, leather industry, steel industry, and the light engineering industry. Shipbuilding is a growing industry in Bangladesh with great potential. Due to the potential of shipbuilding in Bangladesh, the country has been compared to countries like China, Japan, and South Korea. The World Travel and Tourism Council reported in 2013 that the travel and tourism industry in Bangladesh directly generated 1.8% of the country's total employment, which ranked Bangladesh from 157 out of 178 countries worldwide. Next one is Bhutan. Bhutan's small economy is based largely on hydropower, agriculture, and forestry, which provide the main livelihood for more than half the population. Because of rock mountains dominate the terrain and make the building of roads and other infrastructure difficult and expensive, industrial production is one of the cottage industry type. The economy is closely aligned with India's through strong trade and monetary links and is dependent on India for financial assistance and migrant laborer for development projects, especially for road construction. Bhutan also signed a pact in December 2014 to expand duty-free trade with Bangladesh. Multilateral development organizations administer most educational, social, and environment programs and take it into account the government's desire to protect the country's environment and cultural traditions. For example, the government, in its caution expansion of the tourist sector, encourages visit by environmentally conscious tourists. Complicated controls and uncertain policies in areas such as industrial licensing, trade, labor, and finance continue to hamper foreign investment. We move to the next country, which is India. The economy of India is characterized as a middle-income developing market economy. It is the world's sixth largest economy by nominal GDP and the third largest by purchasing power parity. Literally, India has practiced so much economic activities such as agriculture, manufacturing and industry, electricity sector, engineering, gems and jewelry, petroleum products and chemicals, pharmaceuticals, textile, pulp and paper. In 2019, India was the world's 9th largest importer and the 12th largest exporter. India has been a member of the World Trade Organization since 1 January 1995. For your information, India is the world's largest manufacturer of generic drugs, and its pharmaceutical sector fulfills over 50% of the global demand for vaccines. The Indian IT industry is a major exporter of IT service with $199 billion in revenue and employs over 4 million people. India's chemical industry is extremely diversified and estimated at $178 billion. The tourism industry contributes about 9.2% of India's GDP and employs over 42 million people. India also ranks second globally in food and agricultural production, while agricultural exports were 35.09 billion. Next one is Nepal. The economy of Nepal is largely dependent on agriculture and remittance. An isolated agrarian society until the mid-10th century, Nepal entered the modern era in 1951 without schools, hospitals, roads, telecommunications, electric power, industry, or civil service. Basically, Nepal economic activities is more to foreign investments and taxation, imports and exports, natural resource, tourism, and hydroelectricity. Huge number of small foreign investment come to Nepal via the non-resident Nepali who are investing in many sectors. Nepal has a huge potential for hydroelectricity. Other than that, Nepal's merchandise trade balance also has improved somewhat since 2000 with the growth of the carpet and garment industry. Recently, the European Union has become the largest buyer of ready-made garment, which is fruits and vegetables, mostly are apples, pear, tomatoes, various salads, peach, nectarine, potatoes, and rice from Nepal. As stated in the Wikipedia, progress has been made in exploiting Nepal's natural resource, tourism, and hydroelectricity, with the aid of the world's 10 highest mountain peaks, including Mount Everest. Next, we move to the next country, which is Pakistan. The economy of Pakistan is the 26th largest in terms of purchasing power parity and 46th largest in terms of nominal gross domestic product. The economic activities in Pakistan are included cement industry, fertilizer industry, defense industry, textiles industry, automobile industry, foreign trade, remitted aid, and investment. Tourism in Pakistan has been stated as being the tourism industry's next big thing. Pakistan, with its diverse cultures, people, and landscape, has attracted 90 million tourists to the country, almost double to that of a decade ago. Currently, Pakistan ranks 130 in the world by tourist income. For your information, by 2013, Pakistan's cement is fast growing mainly because of demand from Afghanistan and countries boosting real estate sector. The government also has introduced an incentive package for the construction industry in April 2020, which stimulated the industry, especially the private sector housing project. Basically, Pakistan is a developing country with a semi-industrial economy. Primary export commodities include textiles, leather goods, sports goods, chemical, and carpet. We move to the next country, which is the Sri Lanka. The main economic sectors of the country are tourism, tea export, apparel, textile, rice production, and agriculture product. Overseas employment contributes highly in foreign exchange. This growth was driven by the growth of non-tradable sectors, which the World Bank want to be both unsustainable and unequitable. Tourism is one of the main industries in Sri Lanka. Major tourist attractions are focused around the island, famous beach located in the southern and the eastern parts of the country, and Asian heritage sites located in the interior of the country, and resorts located in the mountainous regions of the country. Other than that, the tea industry, operating under the Ministry of Public Estate Management and Development, is one of the main industries in Sri Lanka. It became the world's leading exporter in 1995 with a 20% share of global tea export, higher than Kenya's 22% share. For the apparel industry, the apparel industry of Sri Lanka mainly export to the United States and Europe. There are about 900 factories throughout country serving companies such as Victoria's Secret, Liz Claiborne, and Tommy Hilfiger. While the agriculture sector of the country produces mainly rice, coconut, grain, largely for domestic consumption and occasionally for export. Next country is the Maldives. The economic activity in Maldives are included tourism, fishing, agriculture, and industry. Tourism is the largest industry in the Maldives, accounting for 28% of GDP and more than 60% of the Maldives foreign exchange receipt. It powered the current GDP per capita to expand 265% in the 1980s and a further 115% in the 1990s. While fishing is the second leading sector in the Maldives, the economic reform program by the government in 1989 lifted import quotas and opened some export to the private sector. Subsequently, it has liberalized regulation to allow more foreign investment. Other than that, agriculture and manufacturing also play a minor role in the economy, constrained by the limited availability of cultivable land and shortage of domestic labor. Last one is industry, in which the Maldives consists mainly of garment production, boat building, and handicraft. It accounts for around 18% of GDP. Maldivian authorities are concerned about the impact of erosion and possible global warming in the low-lying country.
That's all from us. Thank you.